couple weeks ago, I was walking upstairs and I saw one of our coaches on the ground trying to foam roll out his chest, and I'm like, Joe, it was Joe, by the way. I have no shame throwing Joe under the bus. I'm like, Joe, what are you doing? We got done doing our burpee challenge a couple weeks ago for the fundraiser event. A lot of you guys probably watched it. You know, we had about 200 people come through. I think to date, we helped raise up to like $37,000 for the little girl and her mom. The little girl passed away, unfortunately, but you know, it was a great fundraiser we did. It was a lot of people coming out for a really good cause. However, I think Joe did about like, what do you do, like 350, 400 burpees, something like that? Yeah, Joe did about 450 burpees. One dude did 747 burpees in an hour. Courtney did like 647, some shit like that. There's a lot of people doing a lot of burpees in an hour, right? So it was a lot of people had very sore chest muscles, triceps, lats, all that stuff. So he's on the ground trying to foam roll out his chest, and I can tell that he's just not able to get it. I'm like, Joe, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm trying to foam roll my chest. And I almost wanted to throw this at him because I showed him this so many times in the past where when you guys do foam rolling, right? Foam rolling is really self-myofascial release, right? And I don't like saying foam rolling because you're gonna automatically think getting on the ground and using a foam roller, where a lot of times we don't even use the foam rollers anymore. We use PVC pipe, I use metal rods, baseballs, because basically what you're doing is giving yourself a massage to break up scar tissue and tension, try to alleviate some pain, right? So, one of the things we do for the chest, so for all you guys who have, you know, you have jobs where you're sitting down all day like this, and like your neck is tight, your shoulders tight, your pecs tight right inside of here, or maybe you had a heavy bench day and you gotta release some tension. This is literally the best way to do the stretch. Right now, what I'm gonna tell you is it cannot be any smaller than a softball. A baseball is gonna be too small, you're gonna be too close to the wall, you won't have the separation you need. But what we're gonna do, I'm gonna take the baseball, right? Oh, God, this sucks. My therapist did a fucking knife rubbing thing in my chest and it's still sore. But all I'm doing, I'm leaning up against the chest. You know, I'm always real with you guys. Girls, if you have any kind of implant, you should be a little careful with this one. But especially if you have the saline implants, I probably wouldn't do this one. You don't want to pop anything. The gummies and the silicone ones should be fine, right? But always be careful, right? You don't want to fucking pop anything. However, right, what we're gonna do, we're gonna take it, and I'm gonna lean right up against my chest, right? And depending how I move the arm, I can get into different parts of the pecs, right? And all I'm doing, if you look, my legs are bent, I'm putting forward pressure into the wall as I'm going, and I'm really able to control exactly where I'm putting the pressure into the stretch, right? So I'm getting right, you see how I'm going right here, I'm getting more like, for those of you guys who have bicep tendinosis and bicep tendinitis, right? If you don't know what that is, trust me, you don't have it. A lot of tension in your chest and neck comes from there. I can get right into the bicep muscle, right where it gets into the shoulder, right? I can switch. I can get into the head of my shoulder, right? Get some good knock. I got one right inside of there. I can get all along my back, my neck, and my shoulder blades. So I'll just show you that one real quick, right? So what we do, we'll let it come down, right? I want to squat down a little so I can put some pressure into it. And once you find the spots, and this one sucks, you should always check with your physical therapist first before you do this stuff because you don't want to do the wrong thing, right? However, if you like living reckless like me, I'll do stretches while I'm holding the knot so I'll be able to pull apart the fascia and the tension there and really get into where I have to get to with some of those spots, right? And if you notice, a lot of the spots I'm getting right now are spots right here. Oh, this one fucking sucks. Are spots that are very commonly hard to get into with a foam roller on the ground, but because you have more freedom of control because of the standing position, you can get into a lot more spots than what you would normally get with a foam roller on the ground, right? I can go to my lower back, right? Now, with foam rolling, there's a couple things you want to watch out for. Technically, you never want to roll over joints. Technically, you never want to roll over bones. Like if you read the book, like when I became a personal trainer decades ago, right? They told us you should never roll over like any kind of bone. So like what I'm doing right now, they technically said isn't a good idea because you could fracture or damage the bone. And they're 100% right, you absolutely could. If you got osteoporosis, osteopenia, anything like that, you should probably not do this one. But for those of you guys who are a little bit more built, tough, right? Or if you're just in a massive amount of pain, this is a great option to explore after you talk about it with your physical therapist or chiro team. I can get into my hip, right? Inside of here, for those of you guys with TFL issues, if you don't know what TFL is, don't worry about it. You don't have it, right? I can get all inside my glute. So for those of you guys with sciatica, I can push. Look at my leg. I'm pushing into the ground, up and in, and I can actually move my leg up and down and try to work through that knot as I go. There's a lot of things you can do with the wall, right? But going back to what we originally got into it for, I'm in the pec, right? I can get all around in the muscle of the pec to where I need it. Like I said, girls, be careful with these if you got alterations, right? Or I can get right into the tendon. So especially if you had like a big bench day the other day and you had a bad lift and you want to try to break up some of that tension of scar tissue, it's a great way to do it, right? A lot of other things you can do with this one also, but that is foam rolling from the standing position with a softball. Now, if you go on Amazon, the softball might be a little too much for you guys. They have black foam balls. They're the ball version of foam rollers. Did I say that right? Yeah. So, but you want to get at least, I can't remember if I think it's 6 inches. It's about the same size of a softball. Bigger than 6 inches, it might be too soft. You might not get any push out of it. Smaller than 6 inches, you won't be able to get the separation you need. Like you'll feel like you're right up against the wall and you're not gonna get anything out of it, all right? Guys, that is foam rolling with a softball from the standing position. It's a very, very, very unique way of doing the foam roller. You're not on the ground. The control you get to determine where you put the actual pressure, it's so much easier, all right? So try that out, put that in your crack pipe and smoke it. If you guys have any questions about that, either reach out to myself or my team so we can give you some feedback on that. Or if you're just not sure if it's the right exercise for you, you should always reach out to your chiropractic team and physical therapist team first. They're the professionals, I'm just a trainer. And you know, let them guide you whether or not it's the right exercise for you, right? Guys, hope that helped you out. See you in the next one.